As a seasoned traveler and host of Rudy Max's World on public television, I believe one of the most important things you can do is to get good information about a destination, especially when it comes to finding great places to eat and drink. In the Twin Cities, Discover Delicious TV is a great source for where to dine, find a craft cocktail or beer, or just grab a quick bite from one of the city's incredible food trucks. We hope you enjoy watching Discover Delicious.
Hi, I'm Leslie Miller, your host. This is Discover Delicious, a weekly TV show and online presence that celebrates all that the greater Minneapolis-St. Paul area has to offer in dining, brewing, distilling, cooking, and all the great companies, products, and places that contribute to the experience. Each week, Discover Delicious will feature different aspects of the culinary and drink world in the Twin Cities, from restaurants to food trucks to breweries, distilleries, and wineries. And for the next several weeks, we will be following the SPIRE Credit Union food truck competition. We're glad you found us. Now, let's get started. After many years in the corporate world, Hot Indian Foods founder Amol Dixit decided to start a business around Indian food that was tasty, healthy, and celebrated the Indian culture.
Hi, I'm Amol Dixit. I'm the founder and owner of Hot Indian Foods. So in 2012, after 15 years in the corporate world, like many others, I was let go. And I decided I was going to try to start my own business, but I needed to take some time to figure out what kind of business that would be. And so after a few months of exploring a few different ideas, I landed on this idea of an Indian food brand that would help make Indian cuisine and culture a bit more accessible to a more mainstream audience. My main focus is to really highlight just how delicious and flavorful and vibrant Indian food can be, and that it's not just confusing and intimidating and overwhelming. Obviously, a lot of folks are focused on health benefits right now, and we're fortunate that Indian food has a lot of inherent health benefits. To bring the Hot Indian Foods menu to life, we've hired a terrific local chef, Janine Holig.
I'm Janine Holig. I'm the executive chef of Hot Indian Foods. Amol and I started this business about 3 years ago. He had a vision to bring Indian food in traditional recipes, but more of an accessible format. So when he approached me, he brought up the idea of wraps. We talked about different ways to start creating that, and we came out with our first bread, which is a roti. That's one of our signature items, is the Indorito, and we use a roti bread made of chickpea flour. So that's something very unique to Hot Indian. A lot of people just use tortillas for their fusions, and we started with using the breads from the Indian culture.
Hot Indian Foods launched as a food truck in 2013, really as a way to test the idea, to see if folks responded well to the food, to start seeding the brand a bit. And in that first year as a food truck, we really were taking all the feedback to see how should we expand this brand. In 2014, we opened up our first restaurant spot in the Midtown Global Market. And since then, we've been able to expand the brand through placements in Target Field. We've had 2 successful runs in the State Fair. But now our focus is on taking this brand and opening up more and more quick-serve restaurant locations.
One of my favorite fillings that we do is our chicken tikka. It's very traditional. It's tikka masala, white chicken breast, halal meat, marinated with yogurt, but it's got a sweet smoky paprika that really livens it up. It's got a lot of butter and cream, so it's really smooth. It's people's first approach, I think, to Indian food.
The menu at Hot Indian Foods is all about taking authentic Indian flavors, but serving them up in more familiar formats. So for instance, our signature dish is the Indorito, which is an Indian burrito. We use roti, which is the Indian flatbread, as our wrap instead of a tortilla, but then we fill it with authentic Indian food, whether it's chicken tikka, lamb, spinach paneer, a few other options. We put our slaw on it, which is a house-made, vibrant slaw, mangoes, carrots, apples, cabbage, and then we can top it off with a little bit of hot sauce if you do want to raise the spice level. So when people ask, is this real Indian food? I always say absolutely. It's just packaged a little bit differently.
We started doing our mango lassi for the Midtown Global Market for a smoothie smackdown, and we specifically just use mangoes, milk, yogurt, and cardamom, just to give it a little bit of that floral, lemony essence to it.
And we're also trying to make the culture a bit more accessible by doing fun things and giving folks a chance to participate in the real fun side, the vibrant side of Indian culture through Bollywood dancing. You get $1 off if you do a Bollywood dance move at our food truck or at our restaurant.
best things for us is that Indian food tends to lean towards the vegetarian. So we have, out of our 5 fillings, 3 are vegetarian, 2 are vegan. So that really helps us kind of get out to the masses, that we can offer so many different levels of food with a gluten-free, vegan, and different options like that.
Our mission at Hot Indian Foods is to add a little spice to your day. So we invite you to come join us, whether it's at the food truck, Target Field, Midtown Global Market, or wherever we may go. Whether you love Indian food already or you've never had Indian food, we know we can take care of you, and we know you'll be down with the brown.
SPIRE Credit Union built a food truck and is holding a cook-off. The winning chef gets the use of the food truck for an entire year.
We're back here at CHS Field. We have each one of the competitors set up on one of the concession stands. They will have 2.5 hours to make 2 signature dishes. They're going to be judged on 4 different categories: taste, the overall presentation, the timeliness, and also how they interact with the general public. Remember, competing today is Lido, Marcus, and Julie. This week, we're going to introduce you to contestant number 1, Lido. Hi, Lido. Jim Ganger, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Stan Edwards, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Let's start things off. What really got you interested in cooking?
So my entire life, I've always been in the kitchen. Starting from when I was an early age, I've been in the kitchen with my mom, helping her cook. Food is such an important thing in Egyptian culture. There's food around every occasion, whether that's someone being born, or someone passing away, or celebrating a birthday. Egyptian food is a staple for every part of our life, and so growing up, it's always been important to learn how to cook.
There's got to be a favorite food that you have.
My favorite food is an okra stew that my mom makes. It's an okra stew with lamb served over white rice, a hearty meal that you can enjoy in the cold of winter. It's a delicious dish. My goals would be to share Egyptian cuisine, to make it fun and friendly. There's a lot of Egyptian dishes that are familiar to Minnesotans, but I want to make it a little bit more approachable, like falafel and tomato-based okra dishes.
What would it mean for you and your family to win this competition?
It would mean the world, mainly because we want Egyptian food to be introduced to the Minnesota community. We feel like this is a way to transcend cultures and to disperse some stereotypes that exist. So this is a great way to celebrate food. Everyone loves good food. This is a great way to introduce really familiar flavors with a little bit of bold flavors into the Minnesota community.
Lido, I understand you took a job at a catering company. How do you think that's going to help you in running a food truck?
I'm around amazing chefs all the time right now, and so not only am I seeing great technique on how to prepare foods, but I'm learning how different ingredients work really well with each other. I've learned that the secret of cooking is to use really high quality ingredients and to let the ingredient shine. Proper preparation and making sure that the bold flavors really stand out on their own.
So I am Chef Lido. Thank you so much for coming out. Today we have Egyptian fusion food for you guys. These recipes have been passed down generation in my family. My mom passed it down to me. The first dish we call kushari. Kushari is the Egyptian man's working dish. Historically, it's been eaten as rice, lentils, and pasta with tomato sauce. Carbs, protein, get you through the day. We made homemade pasta in the back, put tomato sauce, put some crispy fried onions for you guys, and topped it with some za'atar spice. Our second dish is called an unstuffed grape leaf. We've reinvented it, given it some tomato sauce, which is a classical Egyptian ingredient, and we've topped it with a crispy grape leaf with some za'atar spice. All right, you guys, bon appetit.
Lido really impressed me with his personality and the energy he has. It's a great story, I think. I think the family really came from Egypt. He's grown up in the Twin Cities in Minneapolis over the years. But the food he talks about and the passion he has, he just is really articulate. I think he's getting an MBA.
Join us next week as we continue on with the competition and you get to meet contestant number 2.
Wander North Distilling founder Brian Winter takes great pride in the grain-to-glass approach, and it shows in each bottle of liquor they produce.
Wander North Distillery started off as just a distillery. We made products, distributed them, and those products then went to liquor stores and restaurants. However, shortly after we opened, the law in Minnesota changed, and we were able to do cocktail rooms. So in addition to being a distillery which is producing for distribution, we also have what is basically a bar here where we make cocktails with our own spirits.
Since we opened last July 2015, we've been trying to do a cocktail of the week program. We've been pretty successful with this. People are really excited to try something new all the time. So with this next fall menu coming out, we've been putting a lot of effort into just doing a whole bunch of brand new cocktails, a lot of different things to try.
Whether it's called grain to glass or seed to spirit, it's the process of taking the raw grain, milling it, mashing it, fermenting it, distilling it, doing everything on site. If you want to say that, hey, I crafted this, you need to start from the base grain. A lot of the major distilleries are doing grain to glass because they want that in-house control of, is the grain getting ground fine enough or to the right specifications. It allows you to have a whole lot more control in addition to actually making the product.
The pinnacle of bartending is when you get to have control over the actual spirits that go into your drink. Instead of just choosing from a huge bar, you have to kind of talk with the distiller and see if we can make a spirit like X or Y. We have to be really creative at the front of the house. Since the state laws dictate that we can't use spirits that we don't make here, we make all of our infusions and amaros and things like that. So it's kind of the best bartending job you can imagine because you get to have control over a lot more things than you usually would.
For the majority of our products, we're using Minnesota-grown corn. We get it from Flugel Elevator down in Rosemount. They get it from local farmers, delivered in 1-ton totes. From there we take it. Milling is the process of taking the corn or the grain and breaking it down. We use a hammer mill. The mashing is adding those ground grains to hot water with some enzymes. You're converting those starches into sugars, single chain sugars, which is what yeast like to eat. Fermenting is adding yeast into there, and then distilling is the process of running it through the still here at least twice. Proofing is the process of using a hydrometer. There's other ways to do it that are exponentially more expensive, but a hydrometer and floating it in the spirit, that will tell you where you're at with proof. We started off making Outpost vodka, 100% Minnesota-grown corn. Second product after that was our Frontier Applejack, which we made in conjunction with Sociable Cider Works. That was taking their base cider, fermenting and distilling it here, and then barrel aging it for about 3 months. Applejack is a very traditional American spirit. We next came out with our Waypoint Gin, and our latest release has been the Uncharted whiskeys, which are made from local beers. In Northeast Minneapolis, we've got 11 breweries within about 2.5 miles of the distillery here. And when I was going to school for distilling at the Sickle Institute, one of the things the instructor talked about was, hey, if you're located near breweries, work with them. These are the experts in fermentation. So I've worked with about 4 different local breweries now. Each batch is made with a different style of beer. And what's really amazing is each of those different beers creates such a different whiskey flavor.
When you walk in the door, you notice it's got a real brewery feel to it. We believe that we'd like to do the brewery culture for spirits around here. So we're always very friendly and welcoming. I love that we have a pretty small, intimate cocktail room here. It allows us to interact with customers a lot more. We like to be the kind of bar where you go to have some fun.
We're a small, locally owned business, and we also believe in supporting small, locally owned businesses. So overall, it's a great time and an opportunity to try some cocktails made with our fantastic spirits.
After discovering the world's highest rated beer, Insight Brewing founder went around the world on a beer quest. He then launched Insight Brewing.
Back in 2007, I was going to college for classical music. What happened is I accidentally tasted the world's highest rated beer in Denmark as I was visiting family. And as I tasted that beer, it was something that was like the birds came out, sun started shining, one of those moments where I realized what I wanted to do in the world. I get back to the States and I start talking to brewers, I start reading textbooks, and I start home brewing. During this process, I had professors who saw this passion that I had and asked me to apply for a fellowship that would pay for me to travel around the world post-graduation studying my passion, which was beer. So I ended up taking about a year and a half, and I contacted breweries, farms, festivals, put together this year of travel, applied, became a finalist, and lost. So I ended up starting this blog called Bike for Beer. and I ended up biking everywhere I went. I called all the breweries, asked if I could work a little harder for a place to stay and a meal. So I ended up going and picking hops in England, and I worked at the Fuller's Brewery in London, biked around the country, went out to Japan, brewed sake and beer. After that I went to Denmark, hired on as a head brewer in northern Denmark. Before I came back to the States, I ended up traveling among Belgium and France, visiting breweries and wineries. So then I get back to the States, time to start a brewery. The name Insight is inspired from the actual travels around the world and learning how they do it. In their specific location, you get to really learn about the insight to the world of beer. And our goal as a brewery is to keep learning about the insight to the world of beer all around the world.
As a brewer here at Insight, I've been brewing for about a year and a half. Entered a couple different contests. The one I'm most proud of is the World Beer Cup out in Philadelphia. Tons of breweries involved. There was something like 5,000 different beers from 2,000 different breweries, and we were one of 5 breweries from Minnesota to bring back a medal. So we got a bronze medal for our Saison Sunken City in the Belgian fruit beer category. So we're really proud of that.
I come to Insight because I love their beer. I am a big fan of all their fruity Saison beers, and I'm here actually representing Wild Paws, and they are donating $2 of every pint sold tonight.
A lot of beer going in barrels right now. When I first got here 6 months ago, we had 0 barrels going, and right now we have 60. When you put beer into an oak barrel, it will change the beer itself. It kind of changes the complexity of it, adds a little bit more depth to it. We have lots of different barrels going on, so we have a couple tequila barrels, bourbon barrels, 2 wine barrels, 14 sour barrels going right now. Think of sours as like sour candies, kind of sweet and bitter and sour all at the same time. It's a new form of beer that America's catching on to, which I've been brewing for a couple years, and it's just fun to kind of change people's perception of what a beer can taste like. To throw something different at them like that, it's actually really fun to kind of play on their taste buds.
So what we do now as a brewery is I continue traveling around the world. I keep working with breweries, and we keep making new recipes, new ideas, new processes. And with that, we bring a legend back with every place that we go, and that becomes the beer. That becomes the story of this mythical brewmaster that is traveling the world for beer.
I think the taproom experience at Insight is unique due to the fact that we have a variety of different beers on tap at all different times. Some of them you can only exclusively find here in the taproom. We've currently been installing a new tap system which will feature 25 beers in the near future. Tours we do every Saturday right around noon, 12:15. You can just show up and it's a free tour. You get a free 10-ounce beer.
In addition to a unique taproom experience, our taproom has been a host to a variety of cool events. We've done everything from co-ed baby showers, birthday parties, retirement parties, local business happy hours. We have multiple seating areas. Our main focus is to make sure that our guests are having the best time possible drinking the best beer. If anyone watching wants to plan an event, all the information is on the website and you can submit a request right online.
What we're doing right now is really, really cool. And personally, for all of us that got to start this, everyone that gets to work here, we're just passionate about beer. It's a joy to be here every single day. I really love what I do.
Hi, Dan Stoltz here with SPIRE. I'm gonna hang out with Aldi today.
What kind of products and services would you say you use?
You know, I feel like my whole wallet's filled with SPIRE cards. My business is at SPIRE, my personal is at SPIRE. When I was opening my business, I didn't even shop around for banks, and we just went right to SPIRE. I have a branch that's by my office, and then I have a branch that's by my house. So no matter where I'm at or where I'm going, I know that I'm on the way to SPIRE at some point. They've always treated myself and my family right.
For over 20 years, longtime friends dreamed of opening their own restaurant. That day finally arrived in June of this year with Javi.
Hi, my name is James Elm. I'm the GM and co-owner of Javi Restaurant here in the Diamond Lake, Hale Page neighborhood of South Minneapolis. We're located on the corner of Chicago and 56th Avenue. My friend and business partner Michael Egan and I decided we wanted to create a restaurant that was a warm, welcoming environment. And we think we've done that here at Javi Restaurant.
I'm Michael Egan, chef and co-owner of Javi Restaurant in the Diamond Lake neighborhood. Opened it with my longtime friend James Elm. We've been thinking about doing this restaurant for over 20 years, the length of our friendship. We're really happy to be in the neighborhood.
We have over 40 wines, 18 of which by the glass.
We love the wine list. It takes a lot to get us out of the downtown area where we live, but this is definitely a place that will do it.
We also have 10 tap beers on selection, 2 of which rotate all the time. We're very proud to be carrying the Milk and Honey Cider from northern Minnesota. All of our beers are made either in Minnesota, Wisconsin, or Michigan. Our wine list is extensive and includes wines from all over Europe, as well as California, Washington, and Oregon. I'm especially fond of a very nice little wine from Slovenia. It's a Sauvignon Blanc that is just delicious. We also have a very nice sparkling wine called Treveri, great for either fish, seafood, or just because it's a Tuesday and you want to have a little sparkling.
The pairing of the food and wine here is really unique, and it's really done with a lot of thought involved. The food is done very artistically, and the wine is paired to really match.
One of my favorite dishes, and also one of the customers' favorites, is the scallop crudo. There's just a couple steps that we do. I mean, obviously we get the best scallops we can every day. We take usually about 1 scallop or 1.5 and slice it really thinly into like a coin shape. And then we alternate that with what we call a supreme of grapefruit, which basically means we cut all the skin and all the pith off it, so you're just left with the meat of the fruit. And then toasted sesame seeds, tarragon oil, which we make by blanching tarragon leaves and then pureeing it with a very neutral oil like canola oil or grapeseed oil. And then sea beans, which are just an interesting vegetable. They're grown in salt marshes. They look like little baby miniature asparagus, but they have a very salty flavor to them, so it kind of plays well with the sweetness of the scallops and the acidity of the grapefruit. And just kind of arrange everything together so that they all kind of nestle together, and then sprinkle it with a little sea salt, and that's it. It's good to go.
We wanted to create a very warm and inviting area here in Javi. We've used a lot of earth tones, a lot of grays, light browns. We even have some beautiful stone around the fireplace we have here. We think it creates a very inviting and welcoming atmosphere, both for families and just for fun.
We just love that we can come here and hang out with friends, and that it's a relaxed atmosphere, and you get really good food at a really good price.
So the lamb ribs are just it's a kind of a long process if you think about it, just like cooking ribs. We have a marinade that we put on it that has brown sugar and soy and ginger and allspice and a little bit of clove. We usually try to marinate the lamb ribs at least 2 days, and then we kind of brush the marinade off and then grill them on a very hot grill, and then finish them in the oven where we roast them for at least an hour and a half, about 300 degrees or so. And then when we're ready to eat them, we just heat them up in the oven and then dress them with a little spoonful of cilantro sauce. It's made with cilantro leaves, lemon juice, and sesame seeds, and then a little accompaniment of diced up mango.
Michael and I have been friends for over 20 years. And during that time, we've both worked at a lot of different restaurants doing a lot of different things. We always had one thing in mind. We wanted to do a place together, a place that we could both be proud of, and a place that people would want to come into and have a good time in.
At the end of the day, we wanted to create a family-friendly restaurant here at Javi, and we hope to see you soon.
Craving Eastern European with a modern twist, over 70 vodkas and 6 variations of the Moscow Mule? Hammer and Sickle in Uptown is your destination.
My name is Dustin House. I'm the general manager of Hammer and Sickle in Uptown Minneapolis. Our owner came to me and said, I've always wanted to do a vodka bar. I got this space and I want to name it Hammer and Sickle. Pretty much, you figure out the rest. So being Minneapolis' vodka bar, we have over 70 different kinds of vodka, including 6 of our own house-made infusions. We really shine with our specialty cocktails here, particularly the Moscow Mule, which we have 6 different variations of. Definitely the Copper Cup is what Hammer and Sickle is known for. I'm sure if you talk to a lot of people that have been here, they probably had 1 or 2.
They have great Moscow Mules, good times, and a great staff.
Hammer and Sickle really shines at night. When you come in when it's dark, you're going to see a lot of reds, a lot of grays. Our neon outside, our back bar, a few clocks on the wall, our lovely chalkboard over there where you can buy drinks for people in advance if you'd like. The place really comes to life at night.
This is the best place to go on a Friday night. Good atmosphere.
The atmosphere at Hammer and Sickle is cozy, fun, sexy, really makes you feel comfortable.
I love their phenomenal menu. I love the fun and friendly staff.
Our head executive chef of the company, Phil Dvorak, developed the food menu and did a fantastic job with putting a nice uptown-friendly American twist on Eastern European food. Something different that really wasn't seen in this area.
Stroganoff is a steak and the potatoes, and it's just done just absolutely perfectly.
We have a fantastic food menu here at Hammer and Sickle with a variety of options. Like our neon outside says, we're known for vodka and we're known for pierogi. That doesn't limit us to a bunch of the other offerings that we have, including a numerous amount of small plate appetizers.
The pierogies are our favorite. We've also had the skewers and a bunch of other things. It's very good, Russian authentic, and tastes great.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend the food. The food's great.
We make everything from scratch. We make everything in-house here. We focus on Eastern European cuisine with an American twist to it. Fantastic rib sticking, hearty, stroganoff, Kiev, pierogies.
The pierogies, can't go wrong with that.
The traditional pierogi is boiled with a base of cheese and potato for a filling. Our American twist on the pierogi, it's a little more doughy and we actually cook it on a flat top. We do traditional style fillings in the form of cheese and potato, but we also had a little bit of fun and had 5 other spin-offs. So 3 of our most popular offerings that we have in our food menu. One, definitely the beef stroganoff. This isn't your traditional frozen TV dinner stroganoff. You have your choice of it being served on mashed potatoes or spätzle, all homemade, and then a lovely mushroom cream sauce that we serve with it. It's fantastic, probably one of our best-selling large plate items that we have.
You got the stroganoff, best in town.
The chicken Kiev gets served on a bed of mashed potatoes and a medley of vegetables. The third would probably be our Comrade pierogi. That's probably our most popular pierogi. That's got more of your traditional filling to it. Food here is fantastic and it sells itself.
The neighborhood's great. It's convenient to walk here and we have a great time here.
I love the vibe in here. It's a great place to go and have a couple of drinks.
Uptown's a very vibrant, fun area.
My son lives in Uptown. Come here and you can do so many things in Uptown. You can ride bike, you can hit the lake, you can go for walks. It's just a phenomenal neighborhood.
Our clientele base ranges anywhere from anywhere. We really have people from all different ages, all different areas of not only Uptown, but also people from the suburbs that do come to have a night out, something different. We really have a wide mix of customers that really appreciate kind of what we're doing here and appreciate that we're kind of off the beaten path a little bit. I think they think that when they come here, it's kind of more of an adventure than it is your traditional, night out. If you're in the mood for something different, something kind of off the beaten path, definitely come and try some of our fantastic food and cocktail offerings. You will not be disappointed if you come here to Hammer and Sickle.
Hi, Dan Stoltz here, CEO of SPIRE. Good to see the whole Taylor family today. What kind of family is the Taylor family?
On the go and active.
So it's a family affair. All your kids have accounts?
Everyone, all 4 of the kids. I suppose if they had accounts for our pets, they'd have accounts too.
I work outside the home. We're a busy family. The online banking part has been what's really been helpful for me.
What makes you stay at SPIRE?
The values have never changed. That's important to me. I've been with SPIRE for so long, it's just second nature.
That's it for this week. We would like to thank everyone for watching, and we would like to thank those involved this week for welcoming us in and sharing their story.
Tune in next week for another installment of the SPIRE Credit Union Food Truck Competition.
We hope you enjoyed watching Discover Delicious. Join us each and every week as we bring you all things delicious. Whether you like restaurants and food trucks, craft beer, custom cocktails, or great wine, Discover Delicious aims to bring it to you. In addition, we seek out shops, classes, and places to learn about cooking, brewing, winemaking, and more. We are here on WFTC My 29 each Saturday at 11:30 a.m. And you can watch us 4 times a week on MCN Cable Channel 6. Check out each episode on our YouTube channel, website, and social media. Always remember to drink responsibly. From all of us, thank you for watching Discover Delicious.